What is going on, IE Sports Radio fans? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with another one, and another one. The IE Elite Wrestling Show is back live on Spreaker.com. If you're listening live, thank you for tuning in. The SoCal Saint, as you can hear it in my voice, I am excited. I am so excited. The road to WrestleMania is shaping up to be an awesome one because a lot of matches were confirmed last night. So I have a new list to share with you a little later on in the show. We're going to talk about what happened last Friday night on SmackDown between the first face-to-face interaction between WrestleMania main event opponents Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. And we're going to get into some more indie stuff. What's going on in the world of indie professional wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling. The newest leader of Bullet Club has finally been revealed, and I think we touched base on who that might be a couple of weeks back, and we'll get into that here shortly. But first thing on the scene, I want to talk about the last pay-per-view that just happened here this past Sunday. That was AEW Revolution. Of course, AEW Revolution was coming to you live this past Sunday night on pay-per-view and on Fight TV and Bleacher Report. If you streamed it live, it was coming to you from the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. The first AEW pay-per-view to be held in California. And we're going to run down the matches here. On their, what they call their pre-show is 0 hour. So for free on their YouTube channel, they had the 0 hour match, which was Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zero Medio. Oh, maybe I'm saying that wrong. Oh, God. My Mexican ancestors hate me right now. Penta El Cero Miedo. And Rey Fenix with Alex Abrahantes in their corner defeated the team of Ari Daivari and the varsity athletes Josh Woods and Tony Nese with Smart Mark Sterling in their corner. Awesome way to kick off the show and an awesome six-man tag match. And we're going to jump right in, guys. So I'm not holding anything back. We're jumping right in. In a one-on-one match, Ricky Starks defeated Chris Jericho in the opening bout of the night. This is what needed to happen. If AEW wants to be direct competition to WWE, they need to focus less on already made stars and make stars. They need to make stars. They can't rely on WWE names forever. And so this is a step in the right direction. Ricky Starks getting a huge win over first ballot Hall of Famer Chris Jericho. No matter how much of a fucking douchebag he is in real life, Chris Jericho did the duties. He did the right thing by putting over a young talent, a potential future star for AEW in Ricky Starks. Hopefully this leads to more main events and more big matches, big feuds for Ricky Starks. I hope this isn't just a one and done and he gets lost in the shuffle like so many before him have at Tony Khan's All Elite Wrestling. Next match on the card, another veteran putting over another young talent, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, the son of the late Luke Perry. Yes, the actor Luke Perry. This is his son, Jungle Boy Jack Perry defeated Christian Cage. That's Christian for all you WWE fans out there. Christian Cage was the name he used when he was in TNA, and this is his indie name. He just returned back to it whenever he left the company and went to AEW. And this was a match called the Final Burial match, which is basically their version of a Buried Alive match like WWE has, where Christian was put into a casket and then proceeded to be buried inside said casket. Jungle Boy Jack Perry getting a big victory over another world champion in Christian Cage. That's 2 for 2 in a row where a young talent is put over by a veteran talent. That's a step in the right direction. This is what needs to happen. Building new stars off the backs of yesteryear's stars. Even though they're still wrestling, it seems kind of fucked up to say yesteryear because they're not necessarily yesteryear. They're not, it's not like from fucking back in the 80s and 90s, Jericho, started wrestling in 1990, 1991, and Christian Cage wasn't far behind him. So, I don't know. To me, they're not wrestling, in wrestling terms, ancient history. You know what I'm saying? And in another big win for another young act that desperately needed this, the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, with Julie Hart in their corner, defeated the Elite. The Elite. Kenny Omega, Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks, with Brandon Cutler, a little Justin Roberts there for you, for the AEW World Trios Championship. That's right, the World's Trios titles have changed hands in the second time in their, or I guess technically third time, in their little short history. The House of Black, now the AEW World Trios Champions. And in a big match that ended up having some a rather shocking ending, for the most part. It was a three-way dance for the AEW Women's World Championship. Jamie Hayter running out of there still with the AEW Women's World title. She defeated Saraya, a.k.a. formerly known as Paige, and Ruby Soho. And in the aftermath, Ruby Soho seemingly turned heel and joined up with Saraya and Toni Storm. So you got 3 former WWE women's wrestlers in Saraya, Toni Storm, and now Ruby Soho forming a little stable of their own after they took out Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and the champion Jamie Hayter. And here we go into one of the other big main event matches for this night. It was the Texas Death Match. Hangman Adam Page defeated Jon Moxley. And how did he defeat Jon Moxley? By hanging him by a steel chain, by choking him out with a steel chain from the ring while Jon Moxley was hanging off the apron. It was a big win for Hangman. Hangman was very hot with the crowd. The crowd was very much behind Hangman in that victory. Big pop for his victory. I know this had to split the crowd up between Moxley and Hangman, but Hangman getting the win. Hopefully this puts Hangman back on the course to becoming champion once again and back to the main event spot. And in a big match, I guess, I feel like he's already been cooled off too much. It's like, it's like letting your piece of pizza that's fresh out of the oven sit too long and now it's cold again. You want to just kind of put it back in there and bake it just a little longer, but it's never the same as when it was first freshly baked. You know what I mean? That's a weird analogy, but that's how I feel about the push for Wardlow. He had such a huge mega push around this time last year, and then all of a sudden, Tony Khan just went all over it for some reason. And now I guess he's trying to correct that mistake and rebuild Wardlow to where he was originally. Wardlow defeated Samoa Joe to take the AEW TNT Championship from him. Samoa Joe still the reigning Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And so it will be Wardlow coming this Wednesday, tomorrow night on Dynamite. Wardlow will be defending that AEW TNT title against the winner of the Face of the Revolution ladder match that happened last Wednesday on Dynamite, Powerhouse Hobbs, who grabbed the brass ring, figuratively and physically, to win this opportunity to face the reigning TNT champion. And that's what will be taking place this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. The 4-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team titles, in a shocking move. I did not think they actually had a chance of actually walking out with the titles, but the reigning champions were able to retain their titles. The Guns, the sons of Badass Billy Gunn, a.k.a. Mr. Ass, now known in AEW as Daddy Ass. Billy Gunn's sons, Austin and Colton Gunn, the Guns, retained the tag team titles against the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. But at the end of the match, the Guns got on the mic and started talking about how they were the best tag team in the world today, the best tag team in AEW, and it was from there that FTR, yes, FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Hardwood made their return to AEW, taking out the Guns and making their intentions known that they want those AEW tag team titles. They spent nearly all of last year dripped in gold from the AAA World Tag Team titles, the New Japan World Tag Team titles, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, and now they want the AEW World Tag Team titles back in their possession. And the main event, of course, the Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. It came down to sudden death overtime that went an extra 5 minutes. So this match ended up being in total of 65 minutes and 20 seconds. MJF defeated Bryan Danielson 4 falls to 3 in sudden death overtime by choking out Daniel Bryan in the LeBell Lock. And I didn't get a chance to actually watch this match, but I heard it actually was a fantastic match, a really huge match. A well-received Iron Man match by the fans in attendance there, all except for one, because I really hate that I actually have to touch on this. But okay, so in the world of professional wrestling, if you're new to it, if you're a member of the IE Sports Radio family that's never really watched professional wrestling and you're listening to my show right now, I need to explain something. I mean, it seems a little odd that I should explain it, but I should just kind of give some sort of pretext before I go on a little rant here. But MJF is a heel. That's bad guy terminology. That's what we call bad guys in the professional wrestling world, is a heel. And most heels, they like to draw more heat. Heat is what is a wrestling term for, like, you know, boos. Like, you're getting the crowd to hate you more. And the crowd, most heels, they like to do things where, like, if it's a plant is in the crowd. A plant is someone that the office puts in the audience for the wrestlers to interact with. You know, so they're not interacting with an actual audience member. This is someone that works for the company or is being paid by the company for this particular purpose. And, you know, sometimes they'll smack them around, they'll push them, they'll throw a drink in their face, so to speak. Well, MJF thought it would be a good idea, which I don't know what the fuck is going on in his brain. I know this is we all know it's a work, but for some reason for him, he's just a fucking dickhead 24/7. You know, he lives his character, apparently. And he decided to grab a drink from a mother and throw it at her child, who was sitting right next to her. And what a lot of fans assumed was just water that he flung in this child's face and body actually ended up being an alcoholic drink, later on confirmed, that the mother was holding. Apparently it was like some sort of tequila-based drink that MJF just casually walked over, grabbed from the mother, and just chucked it in this 10-year-old child's face. Apparently, the mother was highly pissed off. For real. Like, legitimately pissed the fuck off. The child was upset to the point of tears. And AEW and Tony Khan had to try and smooth this shit over because of their fucking world champion. I'm just going to say it like this. I'm not going to go off like too long about this because I don't want to give it any more time than it deserves. Wrestling is a show. Yes, we understand that. We're fans. We paid our good hard money to sit in the crowd and be entertained by what is happening in the ring and sometimes outside the ring. What we're not paying for is for some dickhead that thinks it's a good idea that's going to draw him more heat to fucking attack a child. And I know people are like, he didn't attack him, he just threw a cup of drink on him. He could have did anything else. He could have just flicked the kid's hat, or he could have flipped the mom off or something. He didn't have to do that. Okay? He needs to learn to fucking control himself if he thinks this whole bidding war of 2024 is going to happen, because the shit that he did in AEW at the pay-per-view wouldn't fucking fly in WWE. WWE would have him jobbing to fucking Dolph Ziggler on dark matches before TV even is filmed if he did some shit like that to one of their audience members, to one of the kids in the crowd. Especially since WWE is a PG product, you know, catering to a younger demographic. MJF cannot pull shit like that. In that, if he's thinking about jumping ship to WWE potentially in another year, he definitely would not be able to get away with that shit. And somebody needs to make sure he fucking understands that, or he just needs to stay put in AEW because he can just do stupid shit like that and not be penalized for it. And that's it. That is what took place at AEW Revolution. So we had a couple of title changes. Wardlow, the new AEW TNT champion. We got new AEW World's Trios champions. And a lot of young talent was put over like they should have been by veteran, already verified stars in the business. So that's good. We're going to take a little short break. I need to take a breather from my little rant here. And we'll be back. I'm going to talk about a little couple. I have some indie news for you. Not too much. Just a few things I just wanted to bring to you guys' attention. And we'll be right back with you here shortly, guys.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Welcome back to the premier wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show, on the only network that can handle your boy, the SoCal Saint, the IE Sports Radio Network. What is going on, guys? If you're just tuning in live, we just went over the card, the results for the AEW Revolution pay-per-view that just took place this past Sunday night. And right now we're going to get into some indie news. What's going on, guys? Yes. Well, I know at the top of the hour when we went live, I was discussing that there is a new leader of Bullet Club, and yes, I mentioned that he may have been the leader due to what took place at Battle in the Valley a couple weeks back when he attacked the former leader, no longer affiliated with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Jay White. I'm talking about the son of former WWE superstar and producer Fit Finlay, the son known as David Finlay. That's right. David Finlay is now officially a member of Bullet Club, and quite possibly its newest leader, as he made his first entrance at the latest New Japan show with Gato, who is a member of Bullet Club, and Gato officially announcing David Finlay now a part of Bullet Club. This seems to be the tradition of Bullet Club in New Japan. It seems like every time there is the exit of its former leader, whoever attacked him on the way out is the one that becomes the leader. So like when Finn Balor left New Japan for WWE, AJ Styles showed up. Not so much. I don't think he directly attacked Finn. He attacked Finn's opponent that night. But Finn was attacked by the Young Bucks. I think that's how that ended. But yeah, and then AJ Styles made himself known as a new member of Bullet Club and the new leader. And then when it came time for AJ to jump to WWE, Kenny Omega hit him with his one-winged angel finisher and officially became the leader of Bullet Club. And then in turn, Switchblade Jay White took out Kenny Omega, and he became the leader of Bullet Club. And now here we are. Switchblade Jay White was taken out by David Finlay, and now David Finlay officially in Bullet Club and is now their de facto leader. So now we went from the original Bullet Club to the AJ Styles era, to the Elite era, to the Switchblade era, to the Finlay era. I guess we'll just have to wait and see where this goes. Speaking of New Japan, Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks, will be making her first defense of the IWGP Women's World Championship against AZM on April 8th at New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis 2023 live in Tokyo, Japan. If you want to see this match, you need to be a subscriber to NJPWWorld.com. That's NJPWWorld.com. I think I'm going to actually jump on that because I was mistaken. I thought it was $9.99 US dollars to subscribe. But when I was actually looking into it, it's actually $9.99 yen. It's 9.99 yen. So I don't know exactly what that factors out to in US dollars. Hey Google, what is 9.99 yen in US dollars?
999 Japanese yen equals $7.30.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. $7.30 US dollars to subscribe to New Japan Pro Wrestling's app, NJPW World. So that's not bad. That's only a couple dollars more than Peacock. And then you'd have the full New Japan library and be able to watch every event that they put on live. NJPW World is only $7.30 US dollars. So check it out, guys. If you're a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's a steal right there. That's actually not a bad idea. And I think they do have a way to change the settings from Japanese to English. I mean, I would think they would have to, especially for US subscribers. So you'd be able to navigate through the app properly. And in a match here that's going to be coming to you live on April 6th, live from the Melrose Ballroom in New York City for Major League Wrestling. That's MLW, Major League Wrestling. They actually have a show that comes on Thursday nights on the Reels channel. If you have the Reels channel on your cable or satellite television deal, and you want to watch Major League Wrestling, MLW is on the Reels channel. I'm not necessarily sure at what time, but I will find that out and get back to you guys about that. But coming up, a member of the Anoa'i family, Jacob Fatu, who I'm sure will one day join the rest of the bloodline in WWE at some point, because I know I've heard there's feelers for him from the WWE to potentially come in to the company at some point, but he will be challenging former WWE superstar John Morrison, now known by his government name of John Hennigan. John Hennigan will be defending the National Openweight Championship against Jacob Fatu at the Melrose Ballroom on April 6th in New York City at the event called MLW War Chamber. And this will be the first time ever that Hennigan and Fatu have had a match together. So that should be an interesting match to see. And I don't know, I think it was last week we talked about the Game Changer Wrestling. Yes, Game Changer Wrestling, GCW. The Deathmatch King of professional wrestling today. And very popular niche product out there. I mean, their crowds are always very, very full. I love that GCW has a following and a loyal fan base. It's starting to grow on me as well. I just wish, I don't know if there's like laws here in Texas that keep them from doing shows out here, because I would love to see them put on a show somewhere around here. I mean, I'm sure they could sell out a definite, buildings around here. I mean, not huge ones, but I'm sure they could definitely get a sellout in a couple of ballrooms around town. But that's beside the point. They're the ones that run, of course, the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. And last week we talked about cheerleader Melissa and the fallen angel Christopher Daniels going into the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. And they just announced another name to the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. It has been announced that Jimmy Jacobs will be inducted into the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. And the person that will be inducting him into this Hall of Fame class of 2023 will be one half of the current GCW World Tag Team Champions. One half of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, will be inducting Jimmy Jacobs into the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame live at the Millennium Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles, California, Sunday, April 2nd. Here's a little history on Jimmy Jacobs. He has been all around the wrestling world. He wrestled for IAW Mid-South, Ring of Honor, and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and that's Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's based in Southern California, among other promotions. He is a 5-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, and he has also held the PWG World Tag Team Championship with Tyler Black, better known today as Seth freaking Rollins. Jacobs had a brief run in the WWE as a writer, and then he started working for Impact Wrestling in 2017. There he was utilized as an on-screen character, and he also worked backstage as a producer and a member of the creative team. So now the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame will be showcased as cheerleader Melissa, the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, and now Jimmy Jacobs joining the bunch. Congratulations to Jimmy Jacobs, cheerleader Melissa, and the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. It's always nice to see people's hard work and determination be rewarded in such a high honor. Anytime someone is inducted to any type of Hall of Fame, I always feel like it has to be well deserved, and it's always nice to see people getting recognized for their hard work. We're going to take another short little break, and we'll be back. We're going to talk about the ever-shaping WrestleMania card, because we are getting closer and closer, guys. It's only a few weeks away now. We're in the home stretch. We're getting there for WrestleMania.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey everybody, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint. We're back from another short little break here. We just went over some indie wrestling news, and now we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes of this meal that we call professional wrestling. It is WrestleMania talk time. That's right, WrestleMania is just a couple weeks away now. Sunday, April 1st, and... excuse me. What am I doing? Saturday, April 1st, and Sunday, April 2nd. Coming to you live from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California. WrestleMania goes Hollywood. Oh, man, I'm just excited. I am very excited for WrestleMania. If you haven't, caught that on these past episodes of the show, I am just elated. This is the biggest time of year for professional wrestling fans. I have been able to switch shifts with certain people, which I want to thank. I know they're probably not even listening, but to my coworkers who were so gracious and nice enough to switch shifts with me, so I will not miss both nights of WrestleMania. I thank you so very much. I cannot wait. I will be live in attendance at my father's house, sitting side by side with him, eating hot wings and watching wrestling on those two nights. I cannot wait. But anyway, so I wanted to get into this past Friday night on SmackDown. Last Friday was the first interaction we had between the world title challenger and the world champion. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, was back live on SmackDown with the Bloodline when the American Nightmare, the number one contender to the undisputed Universal title, Cody Rhodes, showed up, and they had a face-to-face that was actually just mwah. It was fantastic. It was on fire. It was exactly everything that we needed this first interaction to be. And it ended in a handshake, but it's definitely the build it's starting to build now. Like, the build is getting better. It's getting good, guys. The drama is there. The layers are being laid down layer by layer. Triple H knows what he's doing. This is his first time booking a WrestleMania. This is the first WrestleMania without Vince around, without Vince's thumbprint on it all over it, you know what I mean? So Triple H knows what he's doing. He's putting it down layer by layer, and it's all starting to form. It's like an onion. You gotta peel the layers to get to the center. And this is what we're getting. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now. I feel like it's really getting there between Cody and Roman. It's now shifted because the story was Sami and Roman, and now it's definitely shifted over to Cody and Roman. And then last night on Raw, we had some more progression, some more jumping towards WrestleMania. We had 3 more matches made official last night at for WrestleMania. The new and we're actually going to get into it right now. But we did have some stuff happen last night. Logan Paul showed up live and had interactions with Seth Rollins, which led to it being made official at WrestleMania, which I totally saw coming, especially after the Royal Rumble elimination that took place, and the interference in the Elimination Chamber match that took place as well this past February. So let's run down the card, guys. Woo! For WrestleMania! And none of these matches have been guaranteed or stated for whatever night. We still don't know which night is getting what matches still. But this match was made official after their interaction. It will be Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Logan Paul is so gutturally hated by the WWE audience. And Seth Rollins right now is on this unbelievable high of adulation from the crowd that this is going to be one of those pure wrestling matches where you got a top babyface taking on a top heel, and this is what you need. This is the simple ingredients to make a great match. This could be a potential show-stealing match between Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. Did I ever think I would ever say that statement and mean it? No, but I do, especially based on Logan Paul's previous outings in the ring. His match last year at WrestleMania pleasantly surprised me against the Mysterios when he partnered with Miz. His one-on-one match at SummerSlam last year with Miz was awesome. And then he definitely blew away any expectations I had or any disagreements or any, whatever I had about him in his match with Roman at Crown Jewel last fall. Logan Paul proved that he's taking this seriously and he's putting in the work to do so. So if he can have a fucking awesome match with Roman Reigns, I know damn sure he can have a show-stealing match with Seth freaking Rollins at WrestleMania. So is Seth prepared to steal the show once again like he did last year in Dallas with Cody? You damn right he is. So I'm really looking forward to this match between Seth freaking Rollins and Logan Paul. Another match that was made official, which I was actually surprised that it was made official, because the idea that I was thinking was that the two new women's world tag team champions in Becky Lynch and Lita, I thought they would be defending their tag team titles, because that's what everything on the internet said, against Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, but apparently not, unless they're pulling double duty, like they're doing this match and then that match on another night, since it is a two-night WrestleMania. But I guess we'll find out soon enough this coming SmackDown. But the match was made official last night after their back and forth in the ring. Trish Stratus is coming out of retirement. Yes, one of the greatest women's champions in WWE history, Trish Stratus, and her best friend, one half of the Women's World Tag Team Champions, Lita, and the man, Becky Lynch, the other half of the Women's World Tag Team Champions, will team up to take on Damage Control, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Bayley in a 6-woman tag team match at WrestleMania. This should be a good match. I'm actually really happy for Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Dakota Kai a year ago was on the fired list. Io Sky was sitting in limbo. Bayley was sitting at home not doing a damn thing, waiting for her return. She was sitting there convalescing an injury. And now look at how much 1 year has changed. Dakota Kai back on the roster. Io Sky no longer sitting in limbo. They had gold for most of last year. Bayley is on a heel run right now, leader of her own group. And now they're going to have a big match at WrestleMania against Becky Lynch and 2 WWE Hall of Famers in Lita and Trish Stratus. Oh, it's just crazy how much things can change in a year's time. But sometimes that's how wrestling is. And another match that was made official in Boston, because they were in Boston last night at the Garden. Boston, the home of John Cena. That's right, John Cena returned live in Boston, and he was immediately confronted and demanded for a match at WrestleMania by the current WWE United States Champion, Austin Theory. And John Cena said, "You done fucked up, kid, because you're going to get your wish, and you're not ready for this. You're not ready for this. You're not ready for the smoke. You want the smoke? You're going to get the smoke." Because it's official. At WrestleMania, it will be Austin Theory defending the U.S. Championship against John Cena! Big match John is coming back at Mania. He's going to put this youngster to school at WrestleMania. Do you think Cena's going to walk out with the title at Mania? or is he going to put over Austin Theory at WrestleMania? I feel like Cena's going to end up doing the duties. He's going to do what's right and put over Austin Theory, and it's just going to elevate Austin Theory that much more than these last few months as U.S. champion have done. But I'm looking really forward to that match as well. And we will know who the Intercontinental Championship will be decided against this coming Friday, because on Friday Night SmackDown there is a scheduled fatal 5-way match to determine the number one contender to the Intercontinental title. Sheamus, Karrion Kross, Kofi Kingston, Drew McIntyre, and Rey Mysterio. Is it Rey Mysterio? I think it's Rey Mysterio. You know what? I am so wrong. I think I might be wrong. I'm going to look that up so I'm not mistaken here. Fatal 5-way. I should have had this prepared. This is what has on short notice, guys. Here we go. I think I should. Okay, I apologize and just make sure. The fatal thing tonight on SmackDown will be between Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Karrion Kross, Kofi Kingston, and LA Knight. The winner of this match will face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. The going rumor online is that Kofi Kingston is injured and may be replaced in the match by either Xavier Woods or a returning Big E, but that's still up in the air. And then another rumor floating around is that there will be no winner, and then it will be ended up named a 6-way Intercontinental title ladder match between all 5 competitors and Gunther. And that way, it's a more easier way of Gunther losing the title without actually, quote unquote, losing the title. You get what I'm saying? It won't hurt Gunther's momentum that he's been growing since last year at Clash of the Castle in that match with Sheamus. For him to lose the title by somebody climbing up a ladder and grabbing it, he's not being submitted and he's not being pinned. So it's going to keep Gunther. It's going to keep him safe and his momentum safe, and we'll also get an awesome ladder match. So I'm hoping that this is what's going to happen. I hope the rumor is true that it ends up being a 6-way ladder match for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. And then in another big match, the Nigerian Giant is going up against the Beast Incarnate. Omos challenges Brock Lesnar to a one-on-one fight at WrestleMania. That is going to be taking place at WrestleMania. For the Raw Women's title, the winner of the Raw Women's Elimination Chamber match, Asuka, challenges the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is walking into Mania, Raw Women's Champion, on the night that she won the title. It was last year that she won the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. She's made it the entire year, calendar year, from WrestleMania to WrestleMania as champion. The only other person that can say that is the Tribal Chief himself, going from one Mania to another Mania as champion. And for the SmackDown Women's title, Charlotte Flair defends the SmackDown Women's title against Rhea Ripley. The only female member of the Judgment Day has been on a roll, and it would be a damn shame if this doesn't cap off with a title victory, which she so much deserves. So I'm hoping that Charlotte Flair is doing the duties at WrestleMania, and we get Rhea Ripley, new SmackDown Women's Champion. And then, of course, I touched on this a little early already, for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, defends the title against the American Nightmare. He's going to go from undesirable to undeniable to uncrowned. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. This is the biggest match in Cody Rhodes' career. He's main eventing his first WrestleMania, something that his brother and his father have never done. Cody Rhodes is going to do it all. He's going to put it all on the line. The Rhodes family name versus the Anoa'i family. Roman Reigns, will he continue this historic reign, or is Cody finally the roadblock that he cannot pass. I say yes. This is the roadblock that finally ends the reign of Roman Reigns. And you can tune into it live on Peacock. If you subscribe to Peacock, watch it live. Or on pay-per-view. I don't know how many people still buy pay-per-views, but yes, it is still going for pay-per-view. WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, the 39th annual WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Saturday, April 1st and Sunday, April 2nd. And The Miz will be the official host of WrestleMania. We're getting close, guys. We are getting so very close to the end of the line, WrestleMania. I am so excited. I cannot wait. My excitement is building. It's going to be a great one, guys. All right, well, with that, I really don't have much more to say, guys. It's been a fantastic show. I believe we went over everything that we needed to go over today. I'm so glad that you guys tuned in live. I have to just let you know, I've already let the big wigs of Value Sports Radio know that next week I will not be live on the show. I can get with them and see if I could pre-record an episode and have one for you guys. I'll see what I can do if that's a possibility. I'm gonna do my best, but if not, the going plan is I will not be available next week to have a live show. I'm gonna be working nonstop next week because I'm about to go on a vacation with my wife. Our wedding anniversary is coming up and her birthday. So shout out to you, honey. I love you. She's never gonna hear this, but I love you, honey. Anyway. So I'm trying to work nonstop to earn those big bucks before I take my little vacation. So with that said, there will not be a live show next week, and I will return to you guys the following week live, same SoCal Saint channel, same SoCal Saint time. And until then, I bid you adieu, and I'll check you guys soon.